Sit up straight. What is today? The 31st odd. So sit with your least favorite cross. It's just a way to, you know, we have habits, and old habits die hard. So we want to, I just use the day of the week to figure out how to sit. So this is an odd day. So I sit with my odd cross, my least favorite cross. And you'll see that when I sit with my favorite cross, right, my legs are much more even. But like I said, old habits die hard. So it's good to sit differently, not always the same way. So use your hands here. If you have long arms, you might want to be underneath, you know, one of your blankets, and lift yourself up, roll your shoulders back, have a good lift to this top of the chest. Okay, and then keep that lift, look straight ahead. Most of us tend to, you know, we have the tendency to want to look at the camera, or, you know, there's really nothing that you need to see so much right now. So make sure that your head is back over the base of your tailbone, your spine. And then bring your hands to your heart. Your thumbs point back towards you, the subject matter, and your forefingers point away from you. Take off your glasses if you have them. Close your eyes completely and observe yourself. So it's a pranayama week. We do, you know, a little bit more of restorative poses, and then we focus on some pranayama. I won't give it away, but there is a target pose that I'm going for today. If you figure it out, I've done this in some of my other classes. If you figure it out, you could just go ahead and unmute yourself and holler it out before we've done it, of course, and see if you figured out that that's the target pose. Okay, just go on observing your breath. Relax your shoulders down and back, and allow the prana itself, that life force that moves, you know, in every cell, down from your pinky toes to the crown of your head. Feel as though it's that life force, that prana, filling your chest cavity, your diaphragm, and that's what's holding you up, right? Not so muscularly today. Observe your straightness, your evenness, or your crookedity, whatever it is. Be with yourself completely, and let any concerns that don't have to do with today's class be a very, very distant memory. Okay, you may join me in the Oms. It's a good opportunity to listen to the sound of your own voice. You're looking for an evenness, fluidity. Check in with that physical self. relift the side body, relift the top chest. And then salute that space you found inside. Reach your hands up your legs and then slowly lift the head and open your eyes. Okay, some of you were in the Monday class. We're going to start a little bit that way, but it's slightly different. So you've got your long belt or two belts put together. And I'm going to just show you from behind here. So I'm going to have my right leg up first. It's Supta Padangusthasana, but I want the tail of the strap to pull. I want to be able to reach it and be able to tighten it on my right side. Okay, so I'm going to put it over my back and around my shoulder blades and armpit area, so you can see where it is right there, tall, high up there. Okay, and then the wall is not really a factor. You don't have to be near the wall, but you're lying down in Supta Tadasana. Then I have that strap, and I bend up the right leg and I put the foot in it. Okay, now it's quite loose for me right now. So I have it there at the armpit chest. I extend the other leg, and the belt and the pushing into the belt, and I'm fine with 90 degrees, but this is not too much of a challenge for me. But what you have to be mindful of is the shoulders. So while I can tighten this up to show you, okay. So you see how the belt, when I push into my foot, the belt lifts my chest. You can see that? Here, it's really lifted here. So two things. Most important is the shoulders have to roll. So it's your responsibility, though the belt is helping you lift and broaden your chest, you have to keep your shoulders down. Second thing is these ribs here and the abdomen. It shouldn't poof that out, right? So the lower abdomen and the ribs stay down. And it's just the back of the shoulder blades, or the chest that lifts, and your arms can just be almost like shavasana here at the side. So I push into that strap, I roll my shoulders back, and of course all the things about Supta Padangusthasana that you know to be true are happening. You're contracting the front of the thigh, tugging it to the bone, and you're pulling the femur downwards towards the hip socket, and the hip sockets are pulling in toward each other. The left leg is stretching as much as the right leg. All right, so you're in it. So your responsibility to roll the shoulders back towards the floor. And okay, good. Yeah, everybody looks good. Whether you push into the strap or not, that's up to you. You manage. None of the classes that I teach on Pranayama Week are going to be real challenge classes. They're not physically challenging. They're more mentally, intellectually challenged. Keep the back of your neck nice and long. And in Mike's case, I might say, Mike, you need a little bit of blanket underneath your head. Not a lot, just maybe a one folded time blanket. Yeah, so the back of your neck is elongated toward the crown of your head, and if you were to open your eyes, you should be able to see the top of your chest. Don't force it though. Okay. All right, now most of you can probably just change mid-air,
But remember when I said, because now you've got the length correct. However, my right leg is shorter than my left. So you might have to fiddle if you just bring the left leg up into where the right leg is and then put the right leg down. You might have to fiddle a little bit with the length of the strap. So push into that strap a little bit, deepen the crease at the thigh. And when you feel that tug in the back of your shoulder blades, roll your shoulders back towards the floor. Yeah, arms relaxed. It's just a nice way to do Supta Padangusthasana. A lot of people strain in their arms and their shoulders, so this is a way to do it in a more relaxed manner. Nice. So don't let the down leg just be, relaxed, right? It has to go on extending, and Bob, roll it in a little bit. The down leg, roll it in. The tendency is for it to roll out. All right, good enough. All right, then just take that strap off, and you just come really close to your camera. And let's see if I can show you this. This one's a little bit fussy. So you have that long strap. So now I'm going to make this strap probably about, I don't know, let's call it between 20 to 24 inches. Loop like that, okay? Now it's gonna go on my left shoulder. Let's see. No, I'm gonna, you'll have it on your left shoulder, but I'm gonna show you it on my right because it's what's closest to the camera and you can see. So it's going like this. And then I'm lying down. It's the C part or the third part of Supta Padangusthasana. So then I'm going to keep the right leg bent to start. It'll be your left. And I'm going to get the opposite foot. So this is my right shoulder, left foot in the strap. Yeah. It goes over. Okay, so there I am. In my workshop of everyday poses, we did this one sitting. Okay, which we're actually going to do a variation of that today. So a couple things to know is that this length is very subjective, the length of this strap. If this is too much, and you can't keep your foot and ankle in line with your shin and your knee, then you're going to have this strap much longer. Okay, so, and then the other thing is to use your hands here, hold the foot to keep the integrity of the foot in line with the shin bone, ankle, and knee. And then the opposite, or same hand can help you roll that thigh out and now extend the bottom leg. So there I am, and I'm not having to do a whole lot to keep that leg in place because I've got that strap. Don't let your foot torque like that, right? Keep the foot pressing into the strap to keep the foot in line to the shin bone. Any questions? You can unmute yourself. Well, let me see what I can see how you're doing. Yeah. And if it's easy, Bob, you can use your right hand to help that thigh roll out more and push the thigh away from you, but the shin coming up more over your chest. The shin and the foot coming up more over your chest. Yeah, it's challenging, huh? Careful, it's hard. I think you're okay, Marcia, but just watch that foot from torquing. Don't let it turn. Keep it in line to the ankle bone and the shin. Okay, now Bob, bring it right over your chest. Bring that shin right over your, yes, there you go. Oh, to have Bob's hips. You can't see very much of Karen today. All right, same thing, Mike, with your head. Careful that the head doesn't go back. The back of the neck has to elongate, and still your shoulders have to roll back towards the floor. And then use that straight leg to help keep the integrity of your torso. Okay, good. Okay, take that strap off. Put it on your right shoulder. You can have the right foot bent to start. I'll do it with you. Put the foot in it. Use your left hand to roll that thigh out. Keep holding on to the outside edge of your foot that's up. And then straighten the other leg. If it's easy, like it is for Bob, he can bring the foot closer to his, let's see, his right shoulder. You should feel a nice stretch. The back of the thighs, it's groinal as well. Yeah. Remember your shoulders. There's Karen. Yeah. Push the knee back and bring the foot closer to the opposite shoulder. If you want to work it all, that's the work. Okay. Good. All right, and now release, and then you can just kneel up and watch the Parivrtta version. Choose the camera so I can make sure you're seeing everything. Okay. So then you'll make this probably about, it's just, I don't know, 8-10 inches. You'll do your right leg first. I'll do the left so you can see a little bit better here. So I'll keep the down leg bent for just a minute. That's going to be my right, your left. I'll put the strap on the leg that's going into the revolved, and I'm going to put the loop on the foot, and I'm going to take the strap on the outside of the knee. Outside, okay. Then I go ahead and turn. I'll straighten this other leg, and I'll go ahead and roll to my side. Okay, so then the opposite hand is holding the strap right there at my knee. I turn, and I reach the other arm out at shoulder height, pressing that palm down, then straighten that leg. Keep the foot parallel to the floor. The goal here is to get the ribs on that, it'll be your right ribs, back ribs, to roll back towards the floor. The bottom leg, let's see. Don't let it roll completely. Do you see how my bottom leg, it'll be your left leg is facing the camera now? Don't let it roll quite so much. Resist a little bit, extend it as you bring that leg over. Big stretch. Side hips, rib cage, diaphragm. Okay, your turn. Smaller loop. Bend up the right knee, put the strap on, and then put the strap outside your right knee. So you're almost bending the knee a little bit like Pavanamuktasana. Yeah, that's it, Bob. Bend it a lot. And then take the knee over with the leg bent to the left. Take it over with the leg bent, okay? And then when you feel like, okay, that's about all I can go, or else I'm gonna lose the left leg, then you straighten the right leg. Straighten the right leg. Yeah. Okay, now your job is to keep that both shoulders down, but you know the right shoulder is gonna wanna come up. Keep reaching that right arm down on the floor. Press the hand into the floor. And then revolve the ribs back to the floor. Feel your breath. Make lots of space between the top of the hip crease on that right leg and your waist. Top of the hip crease, there you go, yep. And now straighten, yeah. Okay, revolve the abdomen left to right. You've got a good hold on the strap, so you don't have to, I really don't want you letting the foot go all the way to the floor. I'd rather you work at the top of the hip more, if at all possible. And don't let the foot go away from you. You know, Bob, when your knee was bent and your foot was right in there with the back of your buttock, when you went over, then the foot went away from you. Yeah, so keep the foot close. Okay, inhale and come up. Second side, remove that strap, bend up the left leg like you would Pavanamuktasana. Put the strap on the foot, take the strap outside the knee, so it's bent up tight. And then start to roll over. So the left leg is going to the right this time. Left leg going to the right. And then you switch hands, Bob. Yeah, just hold with the opposing hand. Yeah, there you go. And Mike, I lost you. And Mike, when you come back, if you can lower your camera just a little bit, I can't see very much of you. But don't do it now. Don't come up now. Don't worry about it. Rather you be in the pose. So keep pressing the hip crease away from your waist on that lifted leg. Keep extending the right leg. Don't let it completely turn on its side. Keep reaching the right leg and then work on the rib cage, the diaphragm, the abdomen, turning from right to left. Imagine if somebody was there and they stood over you, which I have done in many a class, and kind of took your back ribs and scooted them more towards the right, so your back was flatter on the floor. That's what you're going for. Breathe, find out where you might be stuck and use your breath to find more space. Okay. All right. Release. Just bend both knees up and hug your knees into your chest. Couple breaths there.
and then roll up or roll over to the side and stand up, sit in your chair. Let's see, I think I'll just be facing forward. Yeah. So you want to sit in your chair, a chair, whatever chair you might have, any chair would do for this. I'm not sitting with my entire thigh all the way back on the chair, but I've got about this much of my leg off the chair. So I'm not sitting all the way forward, I'm not sitting all the way back, I'm probably 3/4 or so. So I roll from side to side and pull the hamstring back towards the buttock flesh. I sit up nice and tall. So I'll do the opposite leg that you will be doing. So now you'll take, this is Ardha Padmasana, and then as a twist. So you'll take your right hand into the back of the right thigh and just bring the foot right next to the, above the knee. Okay, you can help turn that thigh out. You can hold the other side and lift up. Try not to, list towards the bent or the front, the top leg. Instead, feel the evenness across both of your sitting bones. Okay, then you're going to take that hands underneath and turn that shin and bring that foot up as much into the crease of the thigh as possible. And then this leg goes down. Okay, so if this stage, remember, in all of yoga, really, if the teacher shows subsequent stages and the previous stage was enough for you, then you stay there. So everybody should be able to do some form of this. Okay, so here's choice one. If this is you, that's all you can do. That's what you're doing. You're turning towards the bent knee. So you could cup maybe just above the knee and turn the trunk as much as possible. See how I'm bending that front elbow to turn. Okay, that's one. The other stage is here. I cup and I turn. I've got my hand on the back of that chair and I turn. Try to stay upright. Don't list either towards the bent knee. I think in this Ardha Padmasana twist, your tendency might be to list towards the non-Padmasana leg. But instead, be firm across both sitting bones. Lift up. On your inhalation, lift up, and on your exhalation, feel how you ground down towards those sitting bones. Whew, I just did that and I just got like 3 pops all along my spine. And I've already done this morning. So press into this Padmasana, with this Padmasana foot, press down into that thigh and really elongate that inner groin towards the inner knee. Okay, how are we doing? And have a look. All right, Mike, don't let your leg that's on the floor, your foot that's on the floor, go out so much. Point it straight ahead. See how it's aimed outward towards that? Yeah, bring it in. So I'll call this chair Ardha Padmasana as a twist. Okay, then sit back in just with both feet on the floor. Sort of chair Tadasana, I'll call this chair Tadasana. Okay, and now your left leg comes up and it just sits right above that kneecap. I for one, I have really bony ankle bones, so I don't like to put my ankle bone on the other knee. It's just off of it. Okay, and then I'll keep that You would keep the left hand on the left thigh and help roll that thigh out. You can keep even this hand on this foot to keep the integrity of the ankle and shin in line to the knee. Okay, so if this was enough for you, you're staying here. Otherwise, the Padmasana. So this, I've got both hands and I'm turning that shin, turning that ankle, turning that foot. Sit up straight and tall. Okay, turn. So we're turning towards the bent knee. Hand on your chair bar. On the inhalation, find space. On the exhalation, ground down towards those sitting bones. Turn your weights, turn your abdomen, turn your chest. The chest really wants to take over, but the turn has to be from that firmness of that foot pressing down onto that thigh, that the turning has to come that deep. Don't overturn in the head and neck if you're not turning from here. Use the chair to help you turn more, and then resist that Padmasana knee moving backwards towards the chair. Instead, take your hand and elongate that Padmasana knee towards the front of the screen, I guess. Okay, so just one more step towards Padmasana. Okay, then release that. All right. Okay, sit in Virasana as you are able, as much height as you need, or even a bolster or as much height as you need. So here I could be in Virasana on a bolster. With that much height. But take as much height as you need. If you don't need any height, you don't have to take any height. So I'm just showing, this is a lot of height. You could even have more height on your bolster. And remember, if your ankles are paining you, you always have that choice of that rolled blanket. For the ankles. So I'm very comfy in this pose. So here I am. Okay. So Paravatasana. So interlace your palms, turn the palms away from you and put the hands on top of your head. Okay, so elbows back, shoulder blades, trapezium and shoulder blades going down your back. Notice which way you have your hands. Never do this with a ring on. Ribs back. Lift the trunk up, and then on an exhalation, see where those elbows are. Don't let your elbows come forward, and straighten your arms. So maximum extension of the trunk. Okay, now look up. Look up. So, lifting the head helps us get more extension on, especially the top of the chest. Can you feel that? Lift that top chest. And now don't move your arms went back when you lifted your head. I could see it on some of you. So now keep that. And then bring the head back to neutral, or right over the spine. Keep pressing the center of your palms up towards the ceiling. Elongate the side trunk. On the inhalation, find space. On the exhalation, ground down through those sitting bones. Excellent. Okay, then come down. Rest there for a moment. Interlace the hands the other way. Press the palms away from you, put them on top of your head. Elbows back, ribs back. Inhale, and then on an exhalation, extend the hands, arms back, arms up, hands up, arms back, ribs back. Lengthen, and now head up, lift that top chest more and more and more, and arms back, and then bring the head back to right over your spine. Keep stretching the arms up, open that armpit chest. And then you may release your hands and then kneel up. Okay. That same bolster, very, very useful. So also grab a block and a blanket or two and pad your block. The pose is Paryankasana. So we did that Virasana for a reason. However, I don't want you to, if Virasana is a problem, I don't want you to not do the pose. So you may also do this pose in Swastikasana. And Bob, you can do it in Padmasana, full Padmasana if you'd like. So I'll show you, well, let me see. I'll show you the easiest version first. So do you see how this is the flat side of my bolster? This is the tall side of my bolster. So I want it on the tall side. It's a little difficult. Oh, it's staying. Earlier it didn't stay. So I've got it to stay, and I'm going to take my my Swastikasana. And I'm going to roll my shoulder blades over that bolster. So shoulder blades. So here I lift up. See, my elbows are coming to the floor, okay? And it's across my shoulder blades. Okay, and then my head goes back on that block. Okay, if I feel comfortable enough, I could bring my elbows to the bolster. And there's my Paryankasana. So you're getting lots of space here in the lower pelvic area diaphragm. So this is one version. This is the easiest. The way the pose is typically taught is in Virasana. And you can sit up on whatever height you need there. Okay. So in Virasana, I can go ahead and put my elbows on the bolster. Okay. So then I lift the chest and curl over that bolster where the bolster touches me in the back of the shoulder blades. I push the elbows, lift the chest more, and my head goes to that block and blanket. So it's like I'm resisting a little bit to move my shoulder blades away from the bolster. Typically, it's done without, any bolster. How are we doing? Okay, Bob, if you want to try it without the bolster, you're certainly welcome to. Marcia, the bolster looks a little low. You've got a really round bolster, I see that. But yeah, try to have it a little bit more across your shoulder blades. Nice, Mike. That looks really good. Make sure your head is on the block behind you.
If you're in the Swastikasana version, really relax deep in the groins and feel your breath from that lowest part of the pelvic diaphragm. It's a little more difficult to feel in Virasana. Yeah. All right, so Bob, now take your arms overhead. Bound your arms, bind your arms, Baddha Hastasana. Hold the elbows. Yeah, now reach your elbows beyond your head. Hold your elbows and reach your elbows away from your head. Keep lifting the chest. Paryankasana. Breathe and notice where do you feel your breath? Technically, your chin should point right up to the ceiling. Okay. All right, and now release. And come up. Use your elbows, lift your head. Okay. All right, I'm going to show lots, well, I'll show at least 2 variations of this. So you could be it's very handy because it's already here. I'll sit up on that bolster. I'll roll the thighs back, or the hamstrings back to the buttocks. I reach up and the chair happens to be there. I reach up and I bring my folded arms to that chair seat and my forehead to the edge of the chair seat. Okay, so that's 1. 2. Place a brick in between the calves. Place a blanket on top of that. Pull the hamstrings back towards the buttocks. Sit up straight in Dandasana. Reach the arms up. Head down. Okay, so you're going to be there for a bit. Maybe even 3 minutes. So I want you to be comfortable, but I want you to feel as though the back is extending from that lowest part of the buttocks. You know, where the flesh of your sitting bones, that stays down, but everything else is coming forward. Brain quiet. Paschimottanasana. Intense stretch of the west, the back side of the body. Feels that whole back side from your the skin just on top of your sitting bones is coming forward. Mike, try crossing your elbows. Yeah, and now put your head on your forearms. Yeah. Got one more minute. So find a place where you cannot fidget. If the body fidgets, then the mind is probably all over the place. About 30 more seconds. Yes, you're pressing your thighs down. At some point in your learning of Paschimottanasana, like now I can almost fall asleep in it. But in the learning stages, there's lots of things that have to be attended to. Okay, slowly lift the head and come up. All right, in lieu of Shirshasana today, we're just gonna take Prasarita Padottanasana with the head on support. So I'm gonna show the easiest way first. And then those of you who know the pose and the head goes on the floor, then you can just go ahead and be in it. If you're not sure how your pose is gonna go, watch here for a moment. Let's see. So I step the feet a wide distance apart, I press the feet, pull up through the legs, and then I'm folding at the hip crease, and similar to what you just did in Paschimottanasana, the forearms come to the chair. And now watch, so I told Mike was like this, and in his Paschimottanasana, and his back was slightly humped. I asked him to fold his elbows, reach the elbows forward, and then just rest his forehead on his forearms. So you don't want to be up like this. So you might say, okay, do I need to do it this way? Do I need to reach the arms forward and just put the forehead on the chair? The rest of you who know the pose, it's here. So the feet press down, the legs pull up, the inner thigh, the groins are going back, the backs of the thighs are spreading, the hands press into the floor, the shoulders lift away from the floor, elbows in. You can put support under your head if you're close. Keep the feet parallel, Mike. Yeah, and if you're close to getting the head, just use a couple blankets. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's it, Karen. Push the hands down. Yeah. Release the back of your neck. So this is your inversion. So you want to get the trunk as upside down as possible, as vertical as possible. Yeah, walk the hands in. The hands should be, right in line with your feet or in the same plane as your feet. You can push the hands down to bring the trunk in closer to the legs. Usually we go 3 minutes for Shirshasana. So that's a minute. So you got 2 more minutes. Ask yourself where your mind is. Put it in the pose. About a minute and 15 seconds left. Forty-five seconds. Marcia, ribs back, ribs back. Yeah, your legs are good. It's just that little part in the lumbars. So the back of the buttocks, top of the buttocks have to go up more. Thirty more seconds. Observe yourself. Where are you overworking? Where are you underworking to get the maximum benefits of the pose? Fifteen more seconds. Okay, keep the legs strong as you come up to the concave. Look straight ahead. And then you can heel toe, where you're coming in a little bit more narrow with the legs and the feet. And then bring your hands to your hips and inhale and stand up. Okay. So come close to your screen. I'm going to show you a picture because this is a pose that I have never really enjoyed. And I have probably taught it, I know I've taught it at least twice. But I've been practicing it more as of late, and I don't hate it anymore. But it is called Mahamudra, and I'm going to show you the picture. It's, if you have your Light on Yoga on hand, it's page 148 in this version of Light on Yoga. But it's this guy right here. Okay, and you can see that it's a little bit like Janu Shirshasana, but it's not. There is, let me just read here. So mudra is a shutting, a closing, or a sealing. We often call this pose the Great Seal. So in this sitting posture, the apertures, the closures, are at the top and the bottom of the trunk. So this is why I tried to work with you guys today on getting the top chest open, getting the bottom of the pelvic area nice and open. So in this sitting posture, those apertures at the top and bottom of the trunk are held fast and sealed with your own prana, right? So I'm gonna actually I'm gonna do the whole pose the way I would teach a beginner. How many of you have done this pose on your own or with another teacher? I bet Bob, yeah, and Marsha. Okay, good. Yeah, and give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. You like the pose? Yeah, that's the way I always was. So I'm going to sit on the same height of blanket that I sat for in the invocation. Well, we didn't do the invocation, but for the ohms. So this was my blanket stack. I'm going to put that at the back of my mat. And have just a regular strap with I've got it just a big loop in my strap. And I'm going to hold it double hold. All right. Let me just show you what it looks like. And then it's very hard to do and teach it. at the same time, right? So I'm gonna do it once by myself and then I'll walk you through it. So I'm sitting up on this height where half of my straight leg is on the height, right? Then I'm gonna bend up the right leg and put the foot so the right foot is in line to the left thigh. It's not Janu Shirshasana, right? Janu Shirshasana, the whole shin and thigh turn and the heel is in its same thigh. This one, the heel is in it. Oh, I need to scoot up so you can see me. The heel is in the opposite, sorry, the whole foot is in the opposite thigh. So just watch here for a moment. So I'm pretty comfortable here. And I try not to list. The tendency is to list towards the straight leg because this side is, you know, has less on the ground, right? So I take my strap. It's normally done holding with the two fingers the big toe, but I'm going to show you this way. So here I am. Like this. Please don't get out your light on yoga and compare me to Mr. Iyengar because I will be very remiss in matching him. But I like the strap because it helps me get more lift as opposed to just watch. So this is the way it's supposed to be done, but I just don't feel like I can get the lift of the trunk. So I'm going to take the strap and hold as close to my foot as possible. See that that buckle's not in your way. Okay, so I turn the upper arms out and I look up, and then I didn't say this, but you saw Mr. Iyengar's picture. It's Jandara Bandha. You know, a bandha is a place, or it might be called another lock. So I look up and then I exhale and I close the aperture at the throat, the top chest. Okay, I inhale normally, and then after a long, I exhale normally, then after a long, deep Ujjayi inhalation, I will lift up the abdomen, pull it back. Really, it's from the anus all the way up to the top chest that I'm lifting. And then I hold that prana, that breath. When I can no longer retain it anymore, here's the trick. You have to release the abdominal grip first, then exhale. Long, slow, deep Ujjayi exhalation. So let me just try one. You're going to do three breaths each side, but let me just try one without talking so you can see. So after I take a normal exhalation, I'll take a normal, a deep Ujjayi inhalation. So I don't know if you could see anything, but it's hard. I will give you that. But it tones the abdominal organs. It just does so many great things. It really makes you focus on the breath. I can't recommend it enough. Any questions? So I'll go over the instructions again as you're getting ready. Sit up on enough height. If you don't need this much height, you know, like Bob, and you may not need to sit up on this much height. You can sit flat as needed. Take your strap, put it as close to the big toe as possible. And now reach forward and lift the trunk up. You can take your head up. This is a good thing. So I take my head up and I get maximum extension in the trunk. Okay, then to take that Jalandhara Bandha, I just simply elongate the back of the neck. And it's as if I'm looking at my chest. Okay, are we there? How much height have you got, Mike?
You've got 3 blankets, okay. So hold higher on your belt, because you're super rounding. Don't round, yes, that's it. Stay there, stay there. Good. Okay, now, after a normal exhalation, take a long, deep Ujjayi inhalation. Oh, some of you haven't done the Jalandhara Bandha yet. Take your head down, Mike. Long, deep Ujjayi inhalation. At the end of your own inhalation, draw the abdomen up and back. And now hold it, retain it. When you can no longer retain the breath, release the hold of the abdomen first, and then slowly Ujjayi exhalation. All right, so that's one. I'll talk you through the other two. And yeah, Karen, if you can hold the strap individually, you know, with both sides of the strap, yeah, and lift your chest. Nice. Yes, there you go. All right, so inhale normally, and now exhale normally. And now take a deep Ujjayi inhalation, yeah, head down, deep Ujjayi inhalation, lift up, and now after that inhalation, draw the abdomen back and up, and hold. Lift that, keep lifting that top chest. When you can no longer hold that inhalation, let loose the grip on the abdominals, and then slowly exhale, Ujjayi. Okay, you got one more. Normal inhalation, normal exhalation, get maximum extension, lift that top chest, and now Jalandhara Bandha. Head, lengthen the back of your neck, look at your chest. Keep that, arms strong, Mike, arms strong, still pulling on those straps. And now after a normal exhalation, take a long, deep, slow Ujjayi inhalation. At the end of your inhalation, grip the abdominals back and up as hard as you can, as firmly as you can. Pull them towards the back body. Yeah, keep lifting. You forgot the Jalandhara Bandha, Mike. And then let the exhalation, let the grip go of the abdomen, and then the exhalation. Okay, change sides. And you never know, you know, one side might, you might have better luck than the other. Okay, get it into your position. Holding the strap or your big toe. Lift up, pull with those arms to help you lift the sides of the trunk up. And then exhale, take Jalandhara Bandha. Still lifting up the side body. Use your arms to help lift up. Now, long, slow, deep Ujjayi inhalation. Pull the abdomen up and back. Hold it, retain it. When you can no longer hold, let the grip of the abdomen go. Exhale the breath. See if you can stay in your Jalandhara Bandha the whole time. Okay. Normal inhalation, normal exhalation. Okay, now, second one on the left side. Lift up. Jalandhara Bandha if you let go of it. Long, slow, deep Ujjayi inhalation. Pull the abdomen back. Pull it back, grip it back. Even the anus is helping you. Hold the breath. When you can no longer hold it, release the grip of the abdomen, and then the breath. Ujjayi, long, slow, steady exhalation. Okay, last one. Pull with those straps, Mike. Lift up the sides of the chest. Roll the shoulders back and down, and now Jalandhara Bandha, look at your chest. Head down, head down, head down, look at your chest, pull with those arms. Okay, and now, after a normal exhalation, Ujjayi, long, slow, deep, steady inhalation. Grip the abdominal up and back. Pull back, lift up, lift that top chest. Don't let your head come up though, Mike. Head down. And then when you can no longer hold, release the grip, and then exhale, Ujjayi. Whew. Okay. So just relax, sit in whatever person is, whatever position is comfortable. It says on page 148, this asana tones the abdominal organs, the kidneys, and the adrenal glands. Person suffering from spleen ailments, enlargement of the prostate glands, benefit from staying in this pose longer. It cures indigestion. So it also says it destroys death and many other pains. There is nothing one cannot eat or has to avoid if one practices this pose. All food, regardless of taste, and even deadly poisonous is digested and you are fine. I'm not so sure I believe that one, but this is very, very old stuff from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. All right, Mahamudra. Okay, so I would like for y'all to take a really nice version of Setu Bandha, and it requires really no sticky mat is best, and if you have a place on your floor where you can slide, all the better. You could, to make it extra comfy, take a brick and put it near the wall. And then the bolster goes something like that, vertical. Some of you may have done this with me before. It's really easier than it looks, but you sit very, very close to the edge of the bolster, the end of the bolster, and my feet are touching the wall. The wall's not absolutely necessary. So here I am, and I'm gonna lie down. Now, I hold on to the bolster for a second while I scoot just a bit until my shoulders, head, and neck are on the floor. You can see that? I tuck my shoulders under, and there I am. Okay, then I hold on to the bolster and take the whole mechanism away from the wall and straighten the legs. Setu Bandha, Sarvangasana. If you don't have the wall, it's okay, but do extend the legs, stretch the legs away from the torso. Relax your arms. Feel the effects of your Mahamudra, the space you created here. Back of your neck is long, and once again, Mike, you could put a blanket under your head. Or it actually might even be better if you just had it under your shoulders and then your head went back. But once again, if your eyes are open, they should look at the top of your chest. Turn those shoulders under
And imagine if the bolster wasn't there, that you had to do something to coil that spine in and lift your chest. Not Shavasana yet, but feel the effects of your breath work in Mahamudra.
Nice. If you're in a good position, you know, the pose is correct, you might say, then, you know, there's less effort. If you're struggling in some part of the body, it's not comfortable, then there's more effort in the pose. I want you to try to find a place where there's no physical effort. That is where the magic of yoga is found. If you've got the wall, don't let your toes pull away from the wall. Try to press your heels more than your toes, but try to keep the whole foot pressing into the wall. But again, you know, with minimal effort. All right, to come out, bend your knees, hold on to the bolster with your hands and slide your top half toward your head side until your buttocks are on the floor. Buttocks on the floor, and now put your feet in Baddha Konasana on top of the bolster. Soles of the feet on the bolster, and then just let the legs go out to the side. Let the groins be soft. No effort there. Okay, now roll to your right side so the left thigh comes over to the right. And now take your blankets and make them into the pranayama setup for Shavasana. So we'll just do a teeny bit of reclining ujjayi. So I've got the long blanket folded in half. Another long blanket, same way. And it's slightly stair-stepped. So you can see, here's the bottom one, and then there's a little distance between the next one.
Okay, and then the head blanket, I'm probably going to trifold the fatter way. That across. So when you first come into the pose, you shouldn't be right up against your blanket. You should be maybe a few inches, your buttock bones, the back of your buttocks, so a few inches away from the pranayama blankets. So then I come down and I say, okay, can I get that top blanket right at the first ribs? I'm lifting it up, hopefully you can see that. Turn it this way, take a bit. To come to my elbows, and this top blanket is right at the bottom of my ribs. So then I lay down. And I use my hands to move that buttock flesh away from those blankets. And then extend the legs. I look up and see that my feet are symmetrical and they're together. And then I let go. I take my hands on the back of my neck, from the base of my neck, and elongate the head towards the crown of the head. Make sure that your head blanket is for your neck as well. And then tuck the shoulders a little bit more, extend the arms, turn your thumbs towards the floor all the way with your arms, elbows lifted, and then let go. Remove your glasses if you have glasses. So I'll give you a minute or so to just settle down with the physical body. Correctness in the asana, which is shavasana, is equally as important as it is in any other asana. Yeah, and see, Mike, that the feet aren't touching the wall, that you don't feel inhibited. Again, you don't feel like you're being stopped from that letting go or that extension. Okay, just normal inhalation and normal exhalation, letting go, let loose completely. So the stages of Ujjayi, which I'm sure you all are pretty familiar with, right? This would be Ujjayi 1, where you're just being aware of your breath. Tune in to your breath and consciously observe the feel, the flow of your breath. You might notice that I notice right away, because I have a slight scoliosis, I notice that I fill up on the right side more than I do on the left side. Just be attentive to the normal flow of your breath. Okay, now just for a few breaths, make your inhalation slightly longer than your exhalation. So kind of a longer, slower inhalation, and then just let your exhalation be normal. Keep your face soft, your eyes and throat, neck all soft. Keep your ears receptive. Okay, now do the same thing where now you make your exhalation a little bit longer than your inhalation. Or you focus on the exhalation. So maybe a little bit more of a normal inhalation, though it might be already naturally longer because you've been working at it. And then prolong your exhalation. Keep it slow, keep it deep, keep it steady throughout. Okay. So now putting that together. After your next normal, after I quit talking and after your next normal, regular exhalation, then you'll take a long, slow, deep, steady inhalation from the bottom to the top. And then at the very, very top, there's a slight but natural pause. And then slow and steady exhalation. Okay, take 2 more like that, and then I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit different. Normal exhalation, and then long, slow, deep, steady inhalation. Fill the lungs, fill the body, fill the container from brim to brim, and then slowly exhale that breath. Okay, so there's these kumbakas, right? It's just a fancy way of saying a retention of the breath. So what I'm going to ask you to do is you'll take a normal exhalation and then a long, slow, deep ujjayi inhalation. And then you'll take a long, slow, deep ujjayi exhalation. And then you'll do what's called an echo exhalation. So you think you might be done, but there's some left. So you take a little bit more and let it go completely out, like you're getting the last stale air out of your lungs. So I'd like you to take 3 like that. On the exhalation, there's an echo exhalation, basically. Long, slow, deep ujjayi inhalation. Exhale completely. You think when there's nothing left, slightly retain whatever is left, and then see if you can find some more to exhale. Okay, I'm going to stop talking so you can really focus. So it's the ujjayi echo exhalation. Okay, whenever you're done with those, no more conditioning of the breath, just normally breathe. And I'll let you have your choice. You can roll gently to the side and just move the pranayama support off your back. Or if you're comfortable, you can stay like that for your shavasana. Your choice. But now after that last ujjayi exhalation, no more conditioning of the breath. Just normal breathing. So there's I don't know, 3 or 4 sutras that deal with
pranayama, and the one I think that says the most is that pranayama is Sutra 252. Pranayama removes the veil covering the light of knowledge and heralds the dawn of wisdom. The practice of pranayama destroys illusion consisting of ignorance, desire, delusion, which all obscure our intelligence. Pranayama allows the inner light of wisdom to shine. As the breeze disperses the clouds that cover the sun, pranayama wafts away the clouds that hide the light of the intelligence, or if you want to call that your soul. In the Upanishads, one of the texts that came before Patanjali, it says there is no higher discipline than pranayama. It is called the exalted knowledge, the royal road to well-being, freedom, and bliss. So find something from that sutra that I read that struck a chord with you. Meditate on that. And just be in your shavasana.
Now just gently begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Fold up the arms, bring the hands towards the abdomen or chest or somewhere in between, and then bend up the knees. Wait there with a flat back. Couple breaths, and then slowly roll to your right side. Stay there for a couple breaths, supporting your head either on your blanket or the crook of your arm. Okay, and then completely surrender that head towards your heart. As you use your left hand, then your right hand. Your head is the last thing that comes up. Sit up in whatever straight pose that gets your back straight. Then bring your hands to your heart. And then salute that space inside you hoped to find today, that you tried to waft the cobwebs away to find that seat of your soul. Namaste.